Hey, what is going on guys? Welcome to Arbin Hardware. In today's video we're gonna check out a 1080p 144Hz gaming monitor that doesn't break the bank, meets AOC 24G2. And in today's video we're gonna put this $179 monitor to the test, and in case you wanna check it out, I have it linked up down below. Is this the best budget 1080p 144Hz gaming monitor with gsync and freesync support in 2020? Yeah, let's have a look. Now, with so many 1080p monitors to choose from these days, it can be quite difficult knowing which ones to consider. I've been testing monitors for several years now, and for the longest time, you usually had to pick VA or TA if you had a strict budget, as IPS displays were generally only available for more expensive premium screens. However, in late 2019, this all changed, and nowadays you can actually find a high refresh rate monitor with great viewing angles and colors that doesn't have to cost you a leg. With these words in mind, kinda leads us over to my new favorite Full HD screen right now, the AOC 24G2. Not only is this the best 1080p 144Hz gaming monitor on the market right now, but thanks to this low $180 price tag, which is uncharted territory given its specs, it seems quite impossible to find something more affordable on the market right now. Speaking of specs, let's quickly get that out of the way. The 24G2 uses a 23.8-inch flat 1080p 144Hz IPS display with adaptive sync and low frame rate compensation, and we're gonna touch more on this in a second. It's got a 250 nits peak brightness and 8-bit color depth. It also got VESA mounting on the back, and it comes with a stand that does everything you could imagine, which quite honestly is not very common at this price point. In terms of looks, it definitely got, that subtle but noticeable gaming vibe with matte black and red color scheme we've seen plenty of times before. The stand base have a relatively large footprint, keeping it steady on the desk. The stand allows for 60 degrees of swivel, around 20 degrees of vertical tilting, and a 180 up height adjustment, again with VESA mounting support. Now, AOC claims that the 24G2 has a 3-side borderless design, but yeah, I wouldn't call this borderless. A more accurate term would be small borders with a fairly small shin. Now, for connections, we find 4 USB ports, with the yellow one being solely for charging. We got 2 HDMI 1.4. We also find a 1.2 display port as well as an analog VGA. We got the 3.5 audio input as well as a headphone jack. Now, let's super quickly talk first impressions, and out of the box, the colors were a lot better than I was expecting. And if you, like me, are coming from a TN panel, you're gonna notice a much better image here overall. And not only does, colors look a whole lot more alive and vibrant, viewing angles are also in another league compared to my old TN panel. Now, the panel itself is rated for over a 100% sRGB and 86% Adobe RGB, which explains why my games all of a sudden look so much better. I'm sure you can adjust and make things pop even more if you want to, but overall, out of the box, colors and images looks very good to me. Moving over to viewing angles, those are, very good too, with minimal color shift from side to side, and this is much thanks to the panel type, which are known for having good viewing angles, rich colors, but on the short list, IPS displays can sometimes fall short when it comes to response time, which we're gonna touch on in a second. But yeah, let's quickly have a look at the OSD. Now, generally you got everything you need here. However, don't expect to play around too much with the menu because the buttons are a pain to work with. So as soon as you get your favorite profile activated, you want to forget about the OSD ever existed, and that will avoid getting irritated. Now, so for this being an IPS display, I'm so far very impressed. Now, looking at the display in a completely dark environment, we can see that there is some visible clouding and edge blade on my particular unit. This is quite common, and I'm not sure if I've gotten a worse unit out there compared to others, but from what I've read and heard, 24G2 should be fairly blessed from clouding as far as I'm aware. But as always guys, every panel will be different in terms of severity. So this IPS display comes with adaptive sync and low frame rate compensation. This gives us the best of two worlds, as it allows you to run games in 144 FPS without the monitor ever skipping a frame, and it also gives you the option to run highly demanding games with adaptive synchronization, and this results in a much smoother image quality without, possible screen tearing, which can honestly be quite distracting as you're gaming. The adaptive sync implementation works flawlessly with AMD and Nvidia GPUs. The screen got a 5 millisecond gray to gray average response time, and by using its optimal overdrive settings, it's actually not much slower than some of my TN monitors sitting in the same price category. And it should be said, guys, TN panels' biggest selling argument has always been its low input lag and response time. But that being said, activating the overdrive for this monitor is necessary. I actually did a test of the overdrive in much greater detail in another review of this monitor a few months back. Video is linked up down below. Anyway guys, as you can hear, there is not a whole lot to complain about here. This is nearly a complete package that nails all the key areas for a gaming monitor, and with that low $180 retail price that puts it around the mark for several popular TN monitors, I don't see any reason to choose a TN panel over an IPS model these days. There are a couple of VA based monitors available below $180, but the main problem with VAs is that they typically suffer from what is called ghosting and pixel trailing, which can be quite distracting, and honestly, for the money you save here for possibly opting for a VA based monitor isn't really worth it in my opinion, unless you, for example, really want a curved monitor. For example, this is where VA panels can be an option. Now if you, for example, find 24-inch to be a bit too small, there is also a bigger one called 27G2 available as well, which retails for $30 more, and other than that, it's got the same specs and performance as the 24-inch model. Now both models are linked up down below in case you wanna have a look at it, and in case you like this video, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up and let me know what other monitors you would like me to take a look at coming up next.